Hey movers and shakers, I got another great video. I know many of you have the question of like, how much should I pay my laborers and what's commission structure for my salespeople? Well, you're in luck. I'm about ready to discuss that very topic with you. This video comes from an earlier consultation that I did with a mover who gave me a call and said, hey Jay, I need some questions answered. So I'm going to do it. But before you do that, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you're not, right down at the subscribe button, and make sure you give us a thumbs up. But right now, let's get into the video. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt your video, but I just wanted to talk to you about how you can make $30, $40, $50,000 in the next 30 days. That's right. $30 to $40, $50,000 in the next 30 days. All you have to do is follow very certain precise directions and strategies, and you could be making up to $50,000 in the next 30 days. Almost guaranteed. Now, how are you going to do that? You're going to join the 7-Figure Moving Academy membership group, and you're going to have access to everything that we have inside the membership group. This includes documents, this includes contracts, this includes terms and conditions, this includes credit card vouchers, waivers that you will actually be able to use to protect your business, as well as you'll be able to network and communicate with some of the biggest and most profitable moving companies in Canada and the United States of America. So these people are there to help you make your business bigger and better than you ever imagined. And I'm there too. You will also have immediate and 24/7 access to me via this group anytime that you have a question. All you have to do is use the group. Now, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not, hey, you just do this, plug and play, and you can sit back on your couch and smoke a blunt or something. No, 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 no. This is you actually having to get up off of your derriere and go and do something. But by doing these very easy 1, 2, 3 steps, you could literally make an extra $30, $40, $50,000 to your business income if you follow these specific strategies. I invite you to come to our membership and become a member. Now, we have annual membership and we have a monthly membership. If you take the annual membership, you'll save a lot of money. If you do the membership access, it's less than $1.50 a day. I mean, you can buy coffee from a gas station for less than that. Okay, so guys, go to 7figuremovingacademy.co/membership to find out how you can become a member of the 7-Figure Moving Academy and join the 7FMA family. Thank you, guys. Now back to your video.
Let me change a little bit real quick because I have a very important question. I want to know how would you deal with that. So when it comes to paying the crew, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of times, some crews, they want to get paid from the garage. You know, I tell them on the garage and that's add on the cost of the job. So if you pay them per hour, and you know, I try to pay them when they start the job at the location. For example, I tell the guys, listen, you can come to my parking lot and meet up with me to make your life easier. We all go together, or you can meet at the pickup location, and that's when the clock starts. But they still argue with me. They want to get paid at the garage and they want to come at the parking lot. All right. But also I see another way around. A lot of companies, they pay commission. They don't pay per hour. What is a typical commission they pay for the crew? You know, foreman versus helper versus driver, because that's something I'm trying to consider, because the hourly rate for us here is adding on the cost a lot. You know what I mean? On the job. Because sometimes I have 2 jobs. That's very common here. The job is done from 9 to 1 o'clock. Okay, fine. But then the other job can only start at 2:30, 3 o'clock, and the guys need to stay like 2-hour gap on the side road waiting for the next job. And of course, they don't want to turn off the clock. I have to pay for it, you know, and that's keep adding, you know, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, and at the end of the year is a big, big buck.
Right. And this is going to be a problem with you no matter what size moving company you are. So this is something you're going to have to figure out now. First of all, I could tell you right now, if you're having that problem right now, you need to raise your rates. You have to raise your rates because you're not getting paid enough to pay the guys what they should be being paid.
Right.
Quite honestly, that's just, I'm not being a dick. I'm just telling you flat out, you need to raise your rates so that you can pay your guys. If you want them to show up at your warehouse, start to clock in, then they should be paid from the time that they start work to the time they get back from work, minus any breaks that any lunch or other breaks that they're taking. Period. By law, that's what you're supposed to pay, and that's a federal law. And I know that that's just what you got to do, and you should be paying them like that. So if they're sitting on the side of the road, you could say, okay, good, an hour of that's their lunch break. Fine, right? But the other hour that they're sitting on the side of the road, they should be being paid for. It's not their fault that you didn't book the job correctly, right? That's your fault for not booking the job in the right times. And that comes with experience. It's not something you should feel bad about. It's not something that you should feel sad about, but this is just something that you didn't do effectively enough. And this comes with experience. The more jobs you do like that, the more experience you're going to gain, and the more experience you're going to be able to adjust those rates and stuff and start times. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does. But at the same time, I have a doubt because customers, they come to us and say, hey, we can only start the job at 3 o'clock because that's when the elevator is reserved. You know, they don't give us the elevator before that. And if I have the crew, if I send the crew home and I tell the crew, hey, come at 2 o'clock because the job is started at 3, most of the time they say, I'm not going to come at 3 o'clock. You know what I mean? Because they want to start early the job. They want to start working early and go all the way. I'm not leaving my house at 2 o'clock to do 3-4 hour job and come back. So they want to start early. But then at the same time, we have another customer which we booked, and the customer can start the job only at 9 o'clock, you know. And sometimes the job takes 3 hours, sometimes the jobs take 2 hours or 4 hours.
No, I get it. I've been there. I know what you're saying. So then, and that comes in, then you need to get creative. So if you got to book a job at 9 a.m., it's going to take 3, maybe 4 hours to do, right? They get it done by noon, let's say, hypothetically. You sent 3 guys out, you get the job done, it's done by noon. The next job doesn't start till 3. Well, then you give them an hour for lunch, right? And then after that, they come back to the shop and you have them fold pads, clean trucks, go out and pass flyers for a couple hours or whatever that needs to do, but make them productive. Right?
Yeah. What I see a lot of companies do, they are doing only commission basis on the crew.
Well, another thing that you could do is you could pay flat rate per job.
That's what I want to learn.
Now that comes with a little bit of experience and it's advanced strategy, right? What I ended up doing is I had your problem, and I've always had that problem. And most small moving companies are going to have that same exact pricing problem when it comes to paying the crew. So I feel your pain. I've been there. I know what it's like, and it's kind of crappy. So what I adjusted to was paying flat rate, right? And I basically paid 33% of the job that I got paid for. So hypothetically, just to make the numbers easy, if a job was $1,000, I was going to make $1,000. The crew would get paid 33% of that, which is $330. So if I had 3 guys, it would be split between 3 guys. Of course, the driver getting the biggest share of it, right? And again, just to make the math easy, right? The driver would get $133, and the other 2 guys would get $100, just to make the math easy. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Because your payroll should be around a 30% of the job. So if it's $1,000 job, payroll should only be about 30%.
Okay, so that was one of the questions that I have here. Since we are already on the subject, is the benchmark for job has to be 30% for labor.
That's where you want to be. Yes, that's
Right.
the ideal goal is 30%.
Right. If you stay below that, good. If you go a little bit above, you go into the red light.
Correct. And that's
So-
got to include all insurances and everything too, right? Now, I didn't go over like workman's comp out of that and stuff like that and Social Security. I just wanted to make the numbers easy to understand, right?
Okay, so 33% should be include all the insurance?
That would be like the Social Security would also be taken out of that and stuff. Workman's comp and all the insurances that you would have to pay. So for hypothetically, if one of the laborers got paid $100, that $100 would be minus workman's comp, Social Security, blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? So they'd actually only get $75 in their pocket or $60 into their pocket or whatever it is. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you got to think of that's where you're good. So that means how much are they making per hour? Hypothetically, if they're going to start at 3, how much are they actually making per hour? Right now, if they've only worked 3 hours, that's $20 an hour. That's not bad, right? If they work 2 hours, that's $30 an hour that they made plus whatever tips they got.
Right.
So
now, when it comes to the tips, right here, there is a lot of times where the customer want to tip the movers on the car as well.
No. Do not accept tips via check. Do not accept tips via credit card. You are not their bank, right? Yeah. Do not do it. If the customer wants to tip, he tips the guys directly himself. And you got to make that, and you've got to educate your customer to do that, right? Because it just becomes a problem then. Well, I'm supposed to get so much in tips. Well, they tipped me. Well, no, they didn't. Well, it was on the credit card statement. Then it becomes a problem for you logistically, right? Not only that, if you do it that way, then that means you've got to pay them that tip, which means they're going to lose money in the long run anyway because taxes come out of that tip.
Yeah.
Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So do not accept tips via any way that you would end up having to pay the crew.
Right.
So now if they want to write a check, then they can write a check directly to the movers.
Now, nowadays, usually they pay via Venmo app, they pay cash, Venmo, or they want to add on the credit card. Like, for example, in New York, we do a lot of jobs for corporation. And a lot of times the people who's paying, is a company card. They say, oh, can we add the tip for the movers on the same card as well? And
nope, don't do it.
Okay.
No, nope. Just make it a clear rule. No, absolutely not.
They gotta find their way for that.
I mean, I would, if they don't have cash, then have them pay by Venmo or Cash App or one of these Zelle or whatever it is. There's a lot of ways that they can do it now without going through the company.
I got you.
Because then it just becomes one more thing that you have to be on top. You have to control, and it's just a headache that you really don't need at this specific time. Maybe when you're the size of Dumbo or Piece of Cake or Moshi's or something like that, fine, you can implement that. But right now, you don't want that on your plate.
Do you know one of those guys?
I know Moshi's quite well. We used to work together quite often. They actually featured me on their blog one time.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Yeah. I love they start. They're a pretty old company here in New York. They're over 100 years.
Yeah, they were actually in an Adam Sandler movie, the one where he was the spy. He did the spy work. Yeah. They were in that movie.
Right. So speaking about this subject, paying the crews, right? Do you have an idea? I tried to find the answer. Why New York, the workers' comp here is so expensive for moving? I see.
It's going to be the highest everywhere. Workman workman's comp for movers is going to be very high because it's considered one of the most dangerous jobs that people can do. And it's just the way it is. Now, there are ways that people have done it, but it's not necessarily legal. And that's basically hiring your guys through a payroll company, through a third-party company, where they now are not movers, they're like general labor. And then you could get workman's comp done through that, where the payroll company pays them, and they're not paid through your company, they're paid by the payroll company. I've seen that happen, but that's not really typically legal.
Oh, I see. So they go through a payroll company under somebody else's name.
Right. For instance, you would create a payroll company.
Right.
Right. You would get it all legal as a payroll company. Then your moving company would hire the payroll company. Then you would pay the payroll company all the wages. The payroll company then would pay the guys minus their taxes.
Yeah, but still, that is very tricky because I tell you what happened here real quick. In New York City, right, we get audited by the workers' comp every year, right? Mm-hmm. And even though you can do whatever you want, they go based on your gross sales. If you gross, let's say a $250,000 a year, they know based on their table, because they have a table, they know how many people you need to make that kind of money in the moving business, and they talk you down no matter what. You know what I mean? If you show them, I have 10,000 payroll, they know this shit is impossible. They say, no, you're gonna pay this much because to do this kind of numbers, you need this much. You gotta have, like you say, 33, 35, 40% should go as a payroll. So you're paying based on the 40,000 payroll. You understand? So I seen that because that happened to me. You understand? I hide a little bit, and then when the audit came, no matter how much they saw a little bit of payroll, because I want to pay a lot of the guys on cash, they still penalize me. Say you're paying this much because that's what shows on your. And the thing about it is, in the moving business, as you know here, everybody wants to pay on the credit card nowadays. Nobody wants to give you cash because all these freaking rewards and points they get left and right, they want to use credit card. When you used to do the movie, right, what was the typical percentage or salary you used to give it to the salespeople?
Great question.
Because
all my salespeople were commissioned, flat. I never paid them a flat rate, never paid them an hour. They were all sales commission. Now, if it's a kick-ass salesperson, like they can sell, ice to an Eskimo, I would give them a little bit more. If it's just a general salesperson, I'm going to give them less. But typically, you're going to want to give them about 5% commission. 5%. You could go up to 7% if you want. 10% if the guy's really, really good and he's going to make you the big money. But they got to be like the Babe Ruth of salespeople to get 10%.
Have you ever had a good salespeople who deserves the 10%?
No, never. Oh. But I do know of companies that do have guys that are worth it.
Really?
Yes.
Now, the second question comes, where do we find these freaking people? Because somebody who is really good, they don't look for jobs. Jobs come to them like crazy. Everybody wants them, Do you have any recommendation, besides those regular platforms like Craigslist where you post ads and
Well, that's a good place. I wouldn't really use like those. I would actually go to an employment place that specializes in this kind of a person. Right. Talk with them, spend a couple hours, take them to lunch, buy them coffee, and then interview them and see if they could find you what you're looking for. Other than that, you could use like Indeed or Monster Don't
I
use
got you.
Craigslist. Do not use Craigslist. You know, you could use Facebook, Monster, Indeed, those kind of places, and just find somebody that you could groom,
Right.
right?
Now, do you rather do you have a do you think it's better to have somebody who will get a lot of experience on sales, on the moving sales, or somebody who comes from totally a different field in sales, uh, uh, you know, but no experience in moving business?
Well, here's the thing. A salesperson, like you said, they should never be out of a job, right? And if you're bringing somebody that's from a different sales position, then you got to really look into going, why are you leaving that job, right? A good salesperson's never going to leave unless they have a better opportunity.
Right.
Does this make sense?
Yes.
So they're not leaving unless they got a better opportunity. So if somebody's coming from selling furniture, why are they coming to your company if they were successful selling furniture?
Okay.
That's a red flag. So
Yeah.
my personal suggestion is that I would just hire somebody as a salesperson who wants to do sales, that's never had sales experience before in their life, and I would train the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, here's a secret about sales in the moving industry. Sales is not about knowing how to do sales. Sales is about hitting the numbers, specific numbers. It's about hitting targets every single day. You know that if they're if they're sending out, if they're giving like 200, 300, 400, 500 businesses, they're going out and knocking on 200, 300, 400, 500 businesses and homes that are listed for sale every single week, you know that they're going to make a certain amount of income, right? Despite the amount of no's. Does this make sense?
It does, but you also know there is a lot of crap salespeople who lies a lot. They promise the sky and the heaven.
But that's easy. That's easy to determine because you're going to go, okay, good. They say they've talked to 500 people in a week, but they've made one sale. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Fired. Do you see what I'm saying? It's easy when you have it broken down. Like, I know if you go and knock on 200 doors, you're going to make at least 20 sales, right? So you tell me this week that you've knocked on 200 doors and you've only done 3 sales.
Yeah.
You're gone. Look, you got the next week to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Can't make your target, your sales target by then, you're gone. Because you're either lying to me or you're doing something that sabotage me. Because if they're not hitting specific targets and doing specific things, there's no way that they could be a bad salesman. None, zero, right? Yeah. And the key to salespeople, especially in the moving job business, is the follow-up. So if you don't have a moving software, you need to get some moving software. My suggestion is if you need salespeople and the software, check out OnQ, onq.co, ONCUE.co. Now they're going to charge you a little bit. It's going to cost you, but remember, they're going to have a sales team for you, and they're going to have a moving software that you can use, right? And if you're using the salespeople, they're going to have a follow-up system of text messages, emails, phone calls, etc. Right?
Can you spell again? I'm sorry.
ONCUE.co. When you talk to them, tell them Jay from 7-Figure Moving Academy sent you. Because I might if you sign up with them, I get a little bit of a commission.
All right, Jay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jay. Thank you very much. Do we get a copy for this?
I'll probably post this on YouTube. So look for it here in the next couple of weeks.
You got it. Take care.
Thank you. Have a great day.